throughout the 1980s, you chased the championship.
Right.
And it was Sam and Jack, and then it was Larry Pearson and Brett Bodine, and then it was Tommy Ellis, and you just never quite got to the promised land, so to speak. 1989, you're leading the standings going into Charlotte.
Right.
With 3 races to go. It's looking pretty good. But the race in Charlotte doesn't pan out for you.
We'd qualified somewhere in the around the top 10, and I missed the driver's meeting. Well, that put me to the back of the field. And we had a pretty good car at Charlotte. You know, I can remember it well. And I started in the rear of the field, and about, I don't know, just a few laps into the race, I saw something when I was going down the backstretch bouncing on the track. It had come off another car, and it went right straight through my radiator. And I didn't even know that I had hit anything, but I just saw that part bouncing on the racetrack. I didn't know it hit it. Well, about a lap later, 2 laps later, I looked at the water temperature, and it was pegged out. Well, by that time, when I got back to pit road, motor was done gone. So that knocked me out, and Rob won the race at Charlotte.
Yeah.
And so he gained all those points because I was dead last. He was first. Well, then we go to Martinsville, and I'm still looking okay, you know.
Well, you go into Martinsville, and you got the lead back at Rockingham, because I think he got black flagged for something at Rockingham. So you go into Martinsville, and you're still leading by 19 points.
Yeah, I'm still good.
Yeah.
I'm still good at Martinsville, and the engine blows up. 25 laps from the end or something like that.
As long as you had been chasing that prize, how difficult was that for you to take?
Well, it was hard to swallow, you know, because everything went pretty good for the whole season, and we had such a good point lead going into Charlotte that I felt like if I could just finish the races anywhere like in the top 10, which I felt awful good about, you know, the next 3 races. But by Rob winning the race and us finishing dead last, there went all the points, you know.
Now, why'd you miss the driver's meet?
Damn if I know. I don't have a clue why I missed
You got to blame it on Scott, man. He was your crew chief.
No. It wasn't.
Blame it on somebody.
It didn't have anything. I can't put the blame on nobody but me. You know, I mean, for some reason I was messing around somewhere around the racetrack, and it didn't even dawn on me. And I mean, the drivers' meeting, they always posted it. I knew when it was supposed to be and everything like that. And when I looked at my watch, if I had a watch on or looked at the time, I was an hour late. And I said, oh, Lord, you know. But I thought we'd still been okay.
Yeah.
But the deal knocking the radiator out of it and the motor blowing up, then.
So when you look back on that, is that a deal where you think, well, maybe if I hadn't missed the driver's meeting, or do you think, well, maybe if I just hadn't hit that piece of debris and it hadn't went through my radiator?
Either one.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the way. That's just the way the chips fall. I mean, that's the way they fell, and I accept it, and I'm fine with it. Didn't win the championship, and we'll go on down the road and forget about it.
One of my favorite stories in Second to None, after the race at Martinsville, after Rob had won the championship and after you'd fallen short, he winds up in your van during the modified race. What do you remember about that conversation?
I don't know. We was sitting out there, and we'd fixed us a drink, or we was having a beer or something, and we was sitting in there talking about it. And I mean, we had been friends, and he and Marty, they were like this.
Yeah.
They were absolutely like this. Marty would go down, and he would stay down at Rob's and down at Dick's and on Lake Norman. They would go down there. And Rob always, Marty would come back and tell stories about Rob. He said, Rob said when he got through racing, he wanted to be a professional bowler.
A bowler.
Yeah, and Marty said, "You know where his trophy for winning Charlotte was?" And I said, "No, where was it?" And he said he had put it in a closet down there in his bedroom, back in with where he had a bunch of old dirty linen and old uniforms and stuff. And it was stuck back in there. And he said, Rob said he wanted to be a professional bowler. He said when he got done racing. But I'm glad I have got to know people like that